yet another episode of the Unrated Underrated. I'm your host, Jaivi, your popular culture funkist. And today I'm joined by, I'm afraid to say out the name, but since Munajari we can always just get into it.
Just say myself. Yeah.
Thank you for coming through.
Oh, thank you for having me here as
Adam linked us.
well. Alright.
He's the first one who's doing a lot through dancing and choreography and stuff. So we just wanted to. So let me tell you a brief. I think I told you before, but for the sake of our viewers,
Yeah.
our show, the Unrated Underrated, it's about not necessarily the small guy, but the guy behind the scene. Because there are so many people who are doing the most in the art industry, in the entertainment industry, in the creative spaces, who are not given platform or who are not yet known out there as they should be. So that is why we curated this show for that purpose. But we get you here, and like I said yesterday, sell yourself.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. Who is Omel?
Alright. Basically, my name is Omel Melusi Chitura. I'm Debele. I'm a dance choreographer and I'm turning 28 this year. Pretty much, yeah, that's basically Omel. I'm a dance choreographer, I'm a musician as well.
Alright. So I'm also turning 28. So I've started this thing. I did it when I was turning 25. Remember, before I turned 25, I had things that I said I want to do before I turned 25. I don't even know why it doesn't tanga before I turned 28 late. But yeah, just for my 94s, my 90s kids, we are facing a lot, bruh. Like my expectations. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
You need to fund a Java.
Yeah.
So, you said you are Ndebele. Me too.
Oh, right.
Yes, bro. So yeah, it's brothers, you know.
It's a brother's day. Yeah, that's good.
So, how did everything start? Like dancing.
Alright. So basically the whole dancing, I started dancing when I was still in preschool. Doing the whole Michael Jackson thing. That was somewhere around 2000 actually. Back then I used to stay in Rusabe. That's where I used to stay. So, Rusabe is a small town. So I was well known in that area. But I don't know, there's a young kid, I don't know, Melusi, he's a dancer, he does this break dancing thing, Michael Jackson, etc., etc. And yeah, dancing has always been an in thing. But you know how it is when you're a child, you're just a child, you're doing whatever you're doing, etc., etc. And then in around 2008, when I was now in Form 1, I like to think that's when everything started. Because that's when I started venturing in those dance battles, etc., etc. And that's when I started teaching as well. Actually, in Form 1, I used to teach guys were in Form 2, teaching breakdance, how to do the whirl, how to do the robot, etc., etc. And then with time now, I had like students who were doing big things, actually dance-wise. I had female dancers, I had male dancers who were doing big things dance-wise. So that's how everything started.
Do you have anyone in particular or piece that already came through from high school up until now?
Up until now, okay, so there's a lady that I taught in high school. Her name is Judith Matera. She's now based in South Africa. She's no longer doing dance per se, but she's now doing yoga, actually. That's what she's doing. So she started off as a dancer and then decided to choose her own path, which is yoga. She's actually doing quite good. And here in Harare age, I've taught so many guys, so many girls. There's Ropa Fadzo. Diana Mraicho, and there's also Evangelista Madani. I also have some young kids like Kid Lasos as well. Those are some of my students actually, that are doing big things now.
You see, that is why we have this platform now. We are already have been doing greater things since 2008. You get?
Yeah.
So we need to put you out there. People need to know there's Melusi, Anotara, Anoyimba, Anotisarangutanga. You know, it's very hard.
Yeah.
This friend of mine, I've watched him dance like a lot of times. Was there. But the only time that I managed to imitate his dances, Brain Man. But I've seen like the two actually of my friends, Manotamba. But so teaching someone to dance must be something that you know to go and I watch.
Yeah.
Or do the same and be their own person out as well. It's a win. So how does that make you feel seeing like people that you taught doing great things?
Hey, makes me feel so proud of myself because it means I've succeeded in something. Teaching has always been something it's an in thing. I'm patient, and one thing that I'm good at is actually explaining something, breaking down. Let's say it's a move. I'm actually good at breaking it down and explaining to the other guys, which this is how you do it, this is how you do it. So when I see them doing big things, most of them they're actually doing bigger things than I am. So yeah, it's quite an achievement for me.
Yeah, but if you notice how even if you meet your primary school teachers, what are you doing now?
Yes, true.
I remember the last time that I met moms around this, even on the first year, you are not this year, like you do one of the I don't know a reminder. So we take, but let me do MSU. Oh, more much far because I think do primary. Was here. So I think as a teacher, seeing someone that came through you doing other things, you can't help but be proud of yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it's a win. So you only teach. Do you have a center in Norton where you do it, or you do it in the CBD?
I do it in the CBD actually. The reason being, I started staying in Norton around 2017, and when I'm home, normally I'm that type of person who's always indoors. So my work, I do it in town actually.
So normally what is it to town?
Now they know because they've seen me in so many music videos and social media platforms. So now they know they've seen me in music videos, different channels, Channel O, ZTV, etc.
And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Which music videos have you featured in that I may have seen?
Okay.
In the
Alright. On Jaivi, I was there as well. Freeman and Manchester.
Big songs.
Yeah, that's a big song.
Big song.
Also on Marabadoro by Nick Genius.
Nick Genius no one.
Yeah. I was on that song as well. And there's the other song by Sharon Lanata, I forgot the name of the song. I was also part of that. Some of them, it's been a while, so yeah, actually those are some of the songs that I've done.
Yeah, like I was talking to Adam the other day. Kuti Rafani Gaiba is a big song. But for what made that video beautiful as well was not only the music, but was the set, was the dancers. But we only gave like light to the song, and we omitted like the bigger parts of the video. Same applies in the if you right. When they perform it live, do you also go and you only featured on the video, official video?
No, I featured on the video.
So, do you have an agent? Do they go through you, or there's someone who is in between the artist and you, or you need to hate communication with my artist about only an agent who works for you?
Okay.
How do you get my jobs?
All right. So I'd like to explain it this way. I'm sorry to say this out there.
No, bro. Like, this is a free platform.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want to say.
So the thing is, we don't have a dance industry. The same way we don't have a music industry. We don't have. There are certain channels that everything is supposed to go through, but we don't have that because it's not an industry yet. You know what I mean? So what these guys do is normally Pisa get the jobs. You know what I mean? I think Pisa, for instance, that job I got it through John Cole. So Canaria Abatwa Neman is the one who ends up looking for other people. Oh, yo, guys, so there's a gig, I'm paying this much. So that's how it works.
So if you considered, like, I know when you're talking about Zanu-PF in the music industry, the guy over there, when you look at South African music industry, it already included even budget and
Yes.
because they last year music industry alone generated this much. In Zim, we don't have those structures. They are trying to have them, but you know, because I believe even dancing, like kune dance festivals and stuff like that. Muno only know of Jibilika. And now that I got to meet Adam, now you and this friend of mine on Otapa, then I understood, no, there are actual people there. Because when I'm even, we were talking about the same man.
Yeah.
What made that set beautiful was not only the music, but the Soldier Love tribute altogether was complete because of the choreography.
Yes,
was complete
true.
Because of the dances that were there.
That's true.
Was it? So we're saying when we are giving props to that, we also need to shed light on people who ate the icing on the cake. Was it?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that when you talk about Chinchakasa,
Yeah.
like there's a song that I love, Zimbabwean Maruwa. You should give people their flowers always, so that one are encouraged to do it. If you consider now, since you have seen there is a gap there is no music industry. If you consider yourself, you maybe sort of even creating an academy. If you consider something like that, you know, in a need to what you have seen a gap in the market. What have you done besides teaching others, and what have you done also to uplift this not existing industry?
Okay. I've done a lot actually. But what happens is that, you know, when you do something, normally it works out better with others. But when you don't have others, it's quite complicated actually. It's something else. So one thing that I did, I opened, at first, I started with an academy called Black 94. This was meant to promote the talented young females out there. So I went on and talked to my friends with studios, music studios, and we agreed on some deals. And what these girls were supposed to do, they were just supposed to work on their items and then try to find them those people that are in the industry who can link them up. You understand? And after that, I ended up opening the other one called Prop Child Academy. This mainly for dancers actually. So with Prop Child Academy, I was mainly teaching them how to handle yourself as a dancer, what you have to look up to, also how things work, what to do if you really want to grow as well. And I was actually doing that for free, actually, because my main thing was to groom those dancers. You know, like our generation is going at a certain place, and we have the new blood now. So now they have to know what is Zanu-PF says, Zanu-PF so about the whole industry thing, I'd like to say Kuti, I've contributed in ways where when you don't have an industry, it means there's no an academy to educate. You understand? So I would say I covered the gap when it comes to the education part. You know what I mean? Not the education that will just teach you which is really, this is Amapiano, this is Afro, but the education that will tell you things that you can face, how to deal with, how to charge as well, your brand, how to brand yourself, etc., etc. That's what I've done.
What you're saying, is pretty much important. Yeah, we may have, for example, let's say hypothetically speaking, we have an industry. But if you don't, if the people that are looking into getting into that industry are not educated enough. Because interestingly, you mentioned something about branding, how to carry yourself, how to put your brand out there. I remember you said late '94, even Yangeri music. If you talk to, you said girl child, right?
Yeah.
The girl child are at the mercy. They say the media is male, men, and mainly. It's a male-dominated environment. So if you get a girl child enter into that industry without the proper tools, proper know-how, and like a guide, a map, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. You end up passing the baton to people who are not ready.
Yeah,
so
true.
The contribution that you're saying you are doing, that is why we are having this platform. Because we didn't know about what you are doing for the girl child, which is very much important, especially in this time. Our generation is now we are now going into adulthood.
Yeah, true.
We are not going to have families and stuff like that. The new generation that are coming in, the education that the education that you may not even have yet. You have to some of the things you have to learn through experience.
Exactly.
Then you get a new blood. What you have to do is it's not that this is work. This is what works. That brings me to my other question. Did you you started dancing in preschool, but did you attend any school that you had to do with dancing or music, or it's just
not even? I didn't attend any school at all. Everything that I've done, dance-wise or music-wise, I had to research on my own. You know what I mean? And so just like what you said, that you learn through experience. That's what I did. I didn't go to school. I didn't do anything.
Which makes it even more interesting because self-made. We need more people like you. We need to put you out there so that people get to know. It's always important to know who is responsible for that. Tell us about your music.
Music-wise, I haven't really released many songs of my own. Like I said, that everything that I do, I'm learning. So I'm working with a studio called Room and Rap Studio.
Do major.
Yeah, so exactly. So exactly. Exactly. So those are the guys that I'm working with, and I've been learning. And I'm actually happy because when I started music, I used to see it in a certain way. But now everything has changed. And you can now tell, Kuti, okay, so this is it, because now, even with people's reaction to the music. I record a lot, I haven't been releasing, but when I record something now, you see people's reaction, and everyone is dying for me to release music. But I do have features that I've done with mass music. There's piano music. There's a song called Asamben, and last week we recently released a song called Wamushe. It's an piano song. It's all on the platform, Spotify, etc.
Wamushe with who?
Wamushe, mass music.
Let me just save this.
Yeah.
Wamushe.
Yeah.
Featuring
Max music.
Max.
It's MATZ. Music, MUSIQ.
Oh.
Yeah.
So which type of music do you sing?
I do amapiano, Afro, trap. So let me just say I'm an artist. Bro. Like Chaoya that time I can actually do something.
Right. Since you mentioned Roman raps, Domeja, like when they shape in rap.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an alternative to the rap that you are used to. I want to come to dancing. If you like, do you have your Shebin rap
For dance?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question, and to be honest, that's something that I'm always telling my kids, my students. I'm always telling them the same thing. You know what, guys? If there's something that we failed to do as Zimbabweans and my generation, dance-wise, is to come up with your own type of dances. Whereas Zimbabweans, it means it's a different culture on its own. Because if you look at it, amapiano, house, kwaito, it's South Africa. You know what I mean? And Afro basically it means African. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what type of dance you're doing, whatever. Even people who are this person is crazy. You can give it your name. You don't know how that will go. You don't know anything. You know what I mean? So basically, I haven't done anything, but I'm always teaching my guys that you guys have to come up with something. So
yeah, because a fusion of different type of dances. So which ones do you major in? Like Panajo and Iguacho?
Dances. I teach Afro, I teach hip hop, I teach animation, I teach piano, I teach what do you call this? Contemporary. There's Kizomba. Thanks to Adam taught me a little bit of Kizomba. So now I teach Kizomba. So.
Animation, can you tell me more about it? My website was there, but animation is something which is fairly new.
Alright. Do you remember breakdance? So animation is basically the advanced breakdance.
Right.
Yeah. It's basically an advanced. I think it's more a mixture of robot, breakdance, popping, dances, all at once.
You're listening to what he's saying. We need you back on the dance floor. doing animation. Remember, so I met this guy in 2016. Doma Kaiser.
Oh yeah.
We had so many. We recruited so many people. Then they had period. I was seeing pictures. But the culture, if you watched a movie with Jaivi, in South Africa, I loved it. So. I can dance. I didn't even those teeth, but Dinofara Dama.
Okay.
It's a form of expression on its own.
Sure.
You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what you mentioned something about branding. What have you done to your brand? What have you done to put yourself out there in terms of social media presence, logo, posters, flyers, even a website? What have you done as Melusi to brand yourself and to put yourself out there?
Okay, so when it comes to that, I'm actually more of a singer than a dancer. I know it's funny to say, but I'm actually more of a singer than a dancer. The reason why I'm doing the whole dance thing is because I want to educate, I want to teach dance. That's where my heart is.
So it's you are more of a teacher.
I'm more of a teacher than
performing.
Exactly. I'm more of a teacher. So music-wise, like I said, that I'm still in the learning process, and this is the year where I'm actually expecting to say, you know what, there's now what's called Omel music. You know what I mean? And there's a brand called Omel because I've been learning from do major, poetry, key, Lloyd. So I've been learning a whole lot of things in the industry. So yeah.
So where can we get to? So you said you have your own songs.
Yes.
The only songs of you that are out there are features on.
Yeah, features.
What's stopping you from releasing the music? Because you have it. So then you make the master and everything.
Exactly.
What's stopping you from?
Okay, so music, just like any other business, it needs money. You need capital, and capital doesn't come from the fact that you are making the product only, but when it comes to marketing as well. You know, I'll say this, I'm always telling my students this. If TM, Pick and Pay, or K, or Econet, if they are multi-million-dollar companies, and they still have to invest in marketing, then what makes me special?
Budget, you know, it's going to big corporates,
exactly.
Marketing
alone, exactly.
Yet they've years to back up their reputation, but still, if they have a new product, even on an Apple,
yes,
the money that they put into that,
it's actually an investment. That's the number one key. You know what I mean? So it's just like music. When you're an artist, you're a business. You know what I mean? So if you want to put out your music out there, it's not just a single audio. Now people are versed on, you know, they spend much time on cell phones, computers, iPads, etc., etc. What they want is to see visuals and proper visuals. You know what I mean? Than just to listen. They'll listen to the audio later. You know, when it comes to maybe they've gone out for a party or clubbing, etc., etc. But what they want to do, they want to
do not appeal.
Exactly.
Because we as human beings, we even our school now teachers are now more even encouraged to use visual aids in their teaching because it's stick into memory more than just
Exactly. So yeah, it's all about money and having a strategy as well. Marketing strategies, because it's you can have a lot of money, but when you don't have a marketing strategy, the money you're just spilling out money and bad achievement. You know what I mean? So that's the whole point.
So speaking on that, how are you managing to have free classes? In you said look at not on
$52.
You get. So you mentioned you've done my free classes and stuff like that. How are you managing that?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is, despite teaching these guys, business-wise, I also conduct private classes.
Alright.
Yeah, so that's how I get paid. I conduct private classes for individuals or family classes as well, and wedding choreography. Yeah, I'm also doing wedding choreography, and there's also live performances with artists and music videos as well. So that's how I'm getting my money.
Then in turn, that money is money that you use for Tungwarapako and also your music, and also being able to conduct
free classes, because I still have to pay rent where I teach those guys. So, and I also have to eat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I also have to take care of myself.
Yeah, it certainly takes some doing. But from what you have said, from anyone who will be listening to this, I'm sure they will go and tell people a Melusi story. You know, so if someone wants to see, to get in touch with you, that is your contact details, and also your social media platforms. I'm sure you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. Can you give us your handle as well?
Alright, on TikTok you can find me, it's Omel Melusi, and Instagram is Omel_ORG, and Facebook Omel Melusi, and for bookings you can contact me on app or call 0718-685-034.
So thank you for coming, bro, and selling yourself. Because the idea of this is for someone to see this and say, I want to work with this guy. Because now that we know where to get, now that they know where to go, how to contact you, and where to see. I'm sure we have videos on TikTok.
Okay. On TikTok, there are different kind of videos. So on TikTok, what I do is it's mainly skits. Yeah, I do a bit of skits, you know, by myself.
I was talking to Adam. We talked about TikTok. Remember, we talked about him getting on TikTok. Have you seen how his numbers are growing now?
Big time. Especially the recent choreography that he did for Lola with Melissa. Hey,
you know,
numbers.
So TikTok is the new viral item. So make sure that you also put one after you in between your skits, not even you, even your students, so that people get to know you. Because TikTok is crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
With a proper hashtag.
Yeah, that's true.
A TikTok video, far and wide. So thank you for coming, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you for sparing your time to be with us here on our show. That is the Unrated Underrated 263 Chart podcast. You can find this podcast on we are streaming on all podcast platforms as well, and YouTube. That is 263 Chart. You can get a link to our YouTube directly from our 263 Chart website. That is www.263chart.com. I being Jaivi, your popular county funkist. We out.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.